All right, Gemini. All right, what's going on? These are beautiful, beautiful cards. So, from Late Vampires, ecstasy, yielding rapture and bliss, and then the winged wise ones, angelic help and miraculous aid. Now, this did show up in the upright for you, but this is always an ally. But let's talk about ecstasy first. This one is talking about the ability to surrender to a higher power of your choosing. It's about giving into something that gives you this feeling of ecstasy and bliss. But there's also the warning there of like not losing yourself. Really what this reminds me of is somebody who is in the right frame of mind right now in terms of like what creates ecstasy and bliss for you, and you're sending that vibration out there. And because of the winged wise ones, it's like the divine is stepping in going, all right, Gemini, you want to experience this? Here you go. It's like literally having your prayers answered here. And you get to completely give into this. You know, it's such a beautiful feeling. But you have to be aware of what you are releasing yourself to in order to experience this ecstasy, right? All right, Gemini, here's your overall. The Two of Pentacles. This is going to be about a choice to either keep a situation going or let it go, or to make a choice between two different things. Now, for some of you, you could just be in a place right now where we're just kind of keeping everything going. But things may feel like tumultuous, you know, because I always think of the crazy waters that are going on behind this, right? Or in this case, in front of it. But this could be you like having to deal with all of the day-to-day things, managing your money, you know, but we'll see here. Oh my God. In the past, the Ten of Swords. Now, immediately for me, looking at the Two of Pentacles, I want to say to you, Gemini, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you want to keep this going? You know? Now, that's only going to be for some of you, but we're talking about something that came to an end in a really painful way. The Ten of Swords sometimes talks about feeling betrayed. You know, clearly we didn't want things to end this way, but this is like definitely over with. But with the Two of Pentacles, no. Now, for some of you though, just between the two, it could be that you're not making the choice to end something because you don't want to deal with the pain of it, or you don't want to create that kind of pain. But because we're talking about a past situation here, I think that for a lot of you, you've already experienced this. Okay. Why? In the present, the Three of Pentacles, you know, but we'll see here, right? The Three of Pentacles, this is, you know, working on things, working together, right? Now, again, because of the Two of Pentacles being the overall, there's still that feeling for me, for some of you, that you may be trying to avoid having things end in a really bad way, but it may be heading that way. And what you're trying to do is make sure that everything is going to work out with the Three of Pentacles, especially if there are other people involved with a choice that you're about to make. But you're not really doing that, though, honestly, with the Two of Pentacles, because you're keeping it up in the air. Now, this could, though, be you having to deal with the loss of something here with the Ten of Swords. For some of you, it could be, you know, in terms of career, and you're trying to manage right now with the Two of Pentacles, but you start working on something else. You know, but we'll see here. Okay, so, and that may be the problem. The Six of Swords in future conditions is saying that you're going to have to move on from difficult situations if they are not going to work out, but there may be a part of you that is still going, can I work this out? Do I want to work this out? Or do I want to take advantage of something else? Because you're already coming in with an ending here. But you have to move into something that is more calm for you, right? But there may be some things that you can't mentally move on from, though, either. But it's about a choice. It's about a choice that you're going to have to make in future conditions to move away from the conflict in your life. But some of you may be really trying to work on something right now with someone that, or, you know, we're trying to find a better situation in terms of your career, but a move is going to be required here with the Six of Swords, whether that's physical or mental. Oh, And I love your card. I do. I look at that more than I look at death sometimes when I'm looking at new decks. The Lovers. And there you are. There's your best path to follow. Oh, because we're talking about the duality of Gemini, this could be between what your heart wants, but what your mind thinks is the right thing to do. Because you're talking about the major life choice. And I always think of moral high ground and temptation. But this could be a very significant choice that you are making in terms of your relationships. You know, this is a very significant relationship here. So this could be about somebody that you are married to. For others of you, it's, you know, someone that stands out. It's not just a connection that you have with somebody. It is like an established relationship to me almost. But you're playing with something else though too with that Two of Pentacles. You know, and this could literally be like trying to work things out with somebody where there has been a separation or a breakup, or things were definitely over with at some point in the past. But not really with that Two of Pentacles, not really. Can you work on things? Can you move on from the conflict? But it's really about the choice that you're about to make. Big life choice. Oh my God, Gemini. What? And you know what's interesting is that a lot of times with the Devil, you see the Lovers chained to each other and the negative aspects. For some of you, I mean, this could literally be like trying to work things out in a very unhealthy situation where there's like this karmic tie to someone. I mean, look at it. Oh, no. This isn't good. You know, and again, it's only going to be for some of you. It should have stayed dead. That's what I want to say. Now, on the other hand, temptation, though, may be in your environment. Going back to the Lovers. Are you really trying to work on things here? Or is there something else that you want to put your effort into? Because with the Devil being in your environment, there is no working things out with the Three of Pentacles, not until you get rid of the negative attachment or the temptation. But for some of you, it's literally keeping a really bad relationship going. And maybe you need to make a major choice when it comes to this. Wow. Oh, but the thing is I go back to your oracle cards and I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. You know, because I don't see the winged wise ones bringing you something that is going to be negative. That's not what that's about. You know, and maybe some of you need to experience some bliss and ecstasy. Having a person or a situation come into your life where you can release control and allow them to make you feel better. You know, but again, there's always that warning not to lose yourself. Wow, man. Your hopes and your fears, the Eight of Swords, and it makes sense, right? Like, I go back to the Six of Swords and future conditions, and I think that for a lot of you, it's going to be hard to make this kind of major life choice, so it's easier to keep these things going rather than make the choice, because the Six of Swords, it may be really hard for you to move past the mental blocks because you're already fearing that you're stuck, but it's your own thoughts that are keeping you stuck. But with the Devil, it would make sense. It's something restrictive. It's keeping you bound, right? And it's like you just can't see past it. You don't know how to get out of this. You don't know how to move forward. You know, now, to be fair, though, if you are dealing with a person here and we're talking about a relationship where there's been a breakup in the past, this could be you fearing that they're never going to be able to get past the things that are negatively attached to them. But I don't know, Gemini, because of this being in your environment. And then coming out the High Priestess. Now, this could, though, be about hidden information coming to light. That's really what the High Priestess is about. But this could be like not so much secrets coming out for some of you. Yeah, this could be what's happening here. But I think it's more so about your intuition kicking in that is going to be showing you some things that maybe you have been ignoring. You know, because I always think with the High Priestess, we're talking about passive, right? Not taking any action, but watching, observing what is going on and allowing your intuition to tell you, you know, what is the truth here. from what you are seeing, so it may be your intuition opening up here. The problem, though, is we're still looking at you keeping this whole situation going right now with the Two of Pentacles. A choice is going to have to be made. But I think what you need is some information to come out, whether that, maybe through secrets or is what is going on with you internally, right? But we're talking about possibilities, though, in terms of what could happen. And that may be what you're doing. You know that you need to move on from a very difficult situation with the Six of Swords. We got to get away from this. It's too conflicting for you. But the thing is we're still keeping it going. But wow, man. Okay, what is the High Priestess about? The Hermit. And a lot of people are going through this right now. Oh my God. The Moon. And then, the Page of Swords. Ugh. Oh. Now, there could be a couple of different things going on with that Page of Swords. But it requires you to make a choice that's based on what your intuition is telling you. But I don't think that a lot of you are ready to kind of do this yet. So clearly here, for some of you, yeah, maybe at some point in the past, you've been isolating yourself and doing a lot of deep reflection on what has come to a painful end here. You may literally have been left on your own, somebody just abruptly ended things and now you need to figure things out, especially with the Two of Pentacles being there. But with the High Priestess, yeah, deep, deep inner reflection here and needing to trust what you know to be the truth. Now, with the Moon, though, the problem is if you've been keeping yourself in isolation because of this or isolating certain feelings, you're not facing the reality of the situation with the Three of Pentacles and with the Devil being there. This could be about, you being caught up in the illusion of something and thinking it's better than what it is because of the Devil. Now for others of you, if we're talking about a breakup and you're still trying to work on things here with the Moon, you're not facing the reality of the situation. You're choosing not to see the extent of the negative shit that's attached to this. And it's interesting to me how the Hermit is coming before this. So what you're seeing is not necessarily your star, but you're seeing the Moon. Now, this could be, though, somebody who is casting an illusion on the situation, making you think that things can work when you intuitively, you would know that that isn't the truth. If you really wanted to pay attention to, what is going on in the shadows, And I think that with the High Priestess, this is going to be like a kick in the butt where your intuition is going, oh, shit, Now, with the Page of Swords here, what I worry about with this would be upsetting news. The Page of Swords, in terms of communication, is the news that you don't want to hear. And this could literally be setbacks, but we're also talking about discretion, big time with the High Priestess. Now, if we are talking about some secretive information coming out, Gemini, to be fair, this could be you cloaking the truth with the Moon. But, the thing that I want to say about that, though, is if you are following temptation, it's a negative situation, you are cloaking the truth here, and you are using discretion, eventually this information is going to come out. But the thing is if things weren't over with in a painful way to begin with, you wouldn't fucking be doing this. But Gemini, a choice is going to have to be made. You're going to have to make a choice, a major life choice, and possibly in your relationship. How long can you continue to do this? How long can you continue to do that and hold off the painful ending, right? Now, for some of you, this could be, I'm not exactly doing something that I should be doing. And that maybe it's better to kind of work on things, but something has ended indefinitely with the Ten of Swords in a really difficult way. But to actually completely end this situation and make a major life choice to separate, I don't think that that's something that you're doing right now. Somebody is being extremely discreet about something. Now, To be fair, though, that could be the other person, though. And for some of you, it could be your partner. Can you move on from the conflict that that's going to create, especially if the information comes out? Wow, man. But the thing is Gemini, look, if this is your situation right now, and again, this is a general message, it's only going to be for some of you. This is going to be for those of you who are dealing with these kinds of difficulties right now. If you're happy and like your partnerships are fine, then there is no reason for you to be looking at a reading right now, right? I mean, unless you're just wanting, to be uplifted. But I'm focused on those of you who have a difficult situation. You've got this stuff going on and there are some questions, especially with that Page of Swords. But look, even if this is your situation with your oracle cards coming out, I don't feel bad about it. Like, even though ecstasy is there and you've got the devil in your environment, I don't think that you're losing yourself in something that is destructive to you. I think what's happening here is that you're getting into the right frame of mind in terms of what you want to experience as far as ecstasy and bliss, and that is exactly what you're going to get. But I do not think that the winged wise ones would be bringing you something shitty. Seriously. Okay. So communication is always going to be important when it comes to partnerships, right? But this is saying that there is a need for you to speak the truth about how you're feeling, how you're thinking. But this could lead to a new path. But are you taking a huge risk, especially for those of you who are trying to work things out in a negative situation where somebody is trying to cloak the truth? You know what I'm saying? Now, for others of you, though, it may be that you feel like you're taking a huge risk here by speaking your truth and following a new path that is emerging for you. But, what I want to say here is if you don't take a risk, you're just going to continue to keep this situation going exactly the way it is. And I kind of go back to this and think it's time to move on, right? Taking shelter, the answers are within. In the High Priestess and the Hermit, there you go, right? And it may be that for some of you, you need to find the answers that you feel like are right for you, but just know that, the support is there for you, But the deep consideration and paying attention to your intuition is going to be extremely important coming out here. And you may have to make a difficult move, but you're going to have to make the choice to do that, though, first. And then the other part of it is stop worrying about the possibilities of what could happen. Just trust yourself, But I'm telling you, coming out of this, though, I think that for a lot of you, what you're wanting to experience or what you're wanting to give into is exactly what you're going to receive, but it's going to be in a much better way than what you're dealing with now.